Hi everybody. I know it's hard to believe, but it's been a year since I quit my job and a year since I shot that video about quitting my job, which is the video I get the most questions about ever since I shot it. I just want to reflect on the past year because honestly, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. So I would love to just kind of watch some of the clips from that video and reflect on them now and how I feel about those things now. So yeah, stay tuned. To start it off, I'm just gonna pull up the video on YouTube and yeah, just react to some of the clips from what I said. I haven't watched this video in a long time, so I don't know. Let's get started. Oh my God. Here it is. Oh my gosh, look at my curly hair. I got a lot of compliments when I used to wear that hair. I think it looks cute. It looks good on me.
People that I really liked working with, but overwhelmingly I felt like I wanted to work with different people. Now I'm on this deal that I requested, and then the turning point really happened with Jamaica. And that's kind of when I decided I was gonna do a different job. I think the first thing though that I didn't like, that I noticed pretty early on, was the way that people talked about juniors and treated juniors. By juniors, I mean junior associates. So that would be like first year, second years. Some firms that includes third years. But the way they were referenced, the way I would hear associates like reference juniors, kind of mock juniors sometimes, little jokes about juniors, it bothered me from the get-go.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pause right there. I remember that really bothered me, and that's one of the things I'll talk about a little bit later about like my current firm versus my last firm. But that's something I haven't seen in my current firm. Like the way people used to dog juniors out were always like the butt of the jokes, like third years and second years being like on a power trip about first years. Like it was just a very weird and toxic dynamic. We would have like these practice group meetings, and I remember like someone was like making fun of a question that the first year asked her, and it was just like, why is this the environment that we're creating? Like maybe I should get some context. So I'm talking in the context of Big Law. For people that didn't watch the first video, you probably should go back and watch that video before you watch this video. Yeah, so in the context of Big Law, like there's a hierarchy, first year, second year, third years. I left a few months after my second year started. I'm just like affirming what Angel from a year ago felt, because it's not like that everywhere, and it was ridiculous, and no one really ever complained about it. Maybe people felt it but didn't say it out loud. But I was like, wow, this is messed up. Like, why is everyone like treating us in such a condescending way?
The one instance that really like hit the nail on the head for me was that there was a member of professional staff, I won't be specific, but I had a meeting with her in the cafeteria. Show up to the meeting, 5 minutes passes, I'm like, okay, everybody's late sometimes. 10 minutes passes, before you know it, the entire 30 minutes of our meeting has come and gone. And I'm sitting there just realizing I got stood up. And I email her and I'm like, hey, we had a meeting. And she's like, oh, my calendar just got so busy, I'm just so sorry, whatever. And that was really I really didn't like that. Like I really felt disrespected at that point, and not even have like the decency to just say, hey, it turns out my schedule is crazier today than I thought it would be. We can't meet.
So
just have me waiting there for them for 30 minutes. I was like, okay, so this is what it is, like I'm really not going to be valued the way I feel like I should be valued. This is a job. Like
Yes, okay, so I got to stop right there because, this is just bringing back all the memories, and I should just feel like this is not a role for someone that knows their worth. Like, and I still feel like that. So a little bit more on that person I was talking about. There was a lot. I had even deeper issues with her than I said in this video. She called me like 2 different other Black women's names when I was there. It happened more than one time, her calling me someone else's name. Not even being apologetic about it, being like, oh, okay, like it was no big deal. She was messy. She was supposed to be someone you're supposed to confide in as an associate. She was kind of like the staffer. So you tell her your goals professionally and, you know, she's supposed to try and make them happen. she would talk to other associates about things I told her. Like, it was a mess. All that to say, the reason I paused it right here is because now she no longer works at that firm, and I don't know if she left voluntarily. I doubt it. I feel like they probably kind of like scooted her out, because towards the end of my time at my last firm, they were already making her role like less and less relevant. So a lot of people were complaining about her. It wasn't just me. And now I know for a fact she doesn't work there anymore. So I don't know. I feel like the chickens came home to roost, and they got rid of her, and they needed to, because she was problematic. So yeah, that's what I was talking about right there.
Man, this hierarchy is hard to adjust to. I feel undervalued. I feel isolated. Those were the things that were hard. On top of the undervalued thing, as a junior, sometimes the tasks you're given are just very simple, but it's tedious and it's a lot, and there's things that people don't want to do. So you're the one sending the calendar invites. Sometimes you're just pulling a document from the document server. Some of the things were substantive, like I'm using my brain, I'm reading something, I'm trying to flag comments, but other things are just not like that. You're the one putting in comments.
Okay, so I have to stop it right there, because yeah, this is something that bothered me, and this is another area where, like, in my next job I did find a better environment for me in terms of, like, I do a lot of substantive work now. Like, now it's to the point where I'm like, okay, I need someone to help me like figure this stuff out. So I do substantive work now, but even all that said, I still have those tasks where sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, what? And like, yeah, so it's not like I 100% got rid of like all the issues I raised in this video, but in terms of like the issues I had at the last job of like, that was mainly what I did. That's not the case anymore. Like, as soon as I came over to my new firm, I was drafting a lot more. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I get it. I said I wanted to draft and do substantive stuff, and y'all gave it to me.
Let's say by the summer is when I realized that I was miserable. To be fair, like, I wasn't only miserable because of this job. Like, there were other things that were contributing.
This is always the hardest part of the video for me to watch. It makes me sad.
Significant part. I know it's a double negative, but you know, it was contributing to why I felt the way I felt, for sure. And there were times where I would just wake up and I'm in bed and I'm like, wow, there's just not a lot to look forward to when I wake up. Like, that was how I was, like, honestly how I was feeling. And it was really just, I wasn't in a good place at all. And yeah, I just wasn't enjoying the work. I didn't have anyone at my practice group.
I was just not happy. Like, you know, you're just like literally not happy. Like, that's how I felt that summer. That was summer 2020. So luckily that was like a while ago now. But watching this kind of brings me back, like, oh man, I remember how that felt, and it didn't feel good.
And on top of that, we're in a pandemic, so it's isolating. There were just multiple levels there of isolation. And, you know, that's like a perfect storm for unhappiness. So it just wasn't, it wasn't it. So that was when I really started to like kind of like articulate for myself and to others, like, okay, like I'm not enjoying this.
Okay, let's fast forward this a little bit because I have a call soon.
Minute, like it wasn't like
all these ads, I'm sorry y'all. This video did pretty well, so all these ads ended up making me and Samantha some money. So thank y'all for watching and bearing with us all these ads. I'm sorry.
That's when I started looking for another job. I did some reflection first to figure out what I would really be interested in. And I'll probably do a separate video on finding.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right there. Oh, no, my battery's about to die. Okay, let me change my battery and come right back. Okay, so I'm back. One thing I wanted to say was that as I'm watching this video, one thing I realized that's kind of misleading is that it seems like I start my job, I'm happy with it, and then I'm not so happy with it, and then I'm miserable in the summer, and then I reflect, find a new job, and life's good again. And yeah, I guess those things are true-ish, but I left out that like one of the ways I got out of like that place of misery that I'm talking about, how I got from there to like a place where like I was reflective and like able to find a new job, is that there was therapy in between. And I just want to mention that because it's not like I just like picked myself up, found a job, and life was better. Like, no, there was a lot more to it than that. So I just want to say that because I didn't want to make it seem like it was something that it wasn't. I had a therapist. I started working with her summer, like July-ish 2020. And by the time I met with her, I kind of already knew I was gonna like find a new job, but she really helped me deal with a lot of issues that also helped me get out of that place that I was summer 2020. So just wanted to share that because yeah, I think that's just helpful information.
I knew I didn't want to be in New York anymore. I've said that before. So
Ooh.
I was looking in DC. I realized that substantively an area that was interesting to me, or at least a lot more interesting than what I had been doing, was some combination of tech, media, and entertainment.
So let me pause right there. Looking back, now that I've been in tech for like the past year, I realized I had no idea what tech meant. I think it's such a buzzword these days. And I did a video on venture capital financing. So a lot of like the venture capital financing, that kind of lawyering is in tech. I didn't really know what tech was. And I think it's just like the thing to say now, like, I want to do tech. Like, what the hell is tech? All tech means is technology. It's probably like an app or something new or new software. Yeah, I feel like I didn't really know what tech meant, honestly. Now I do, and I realize like more media and entertainment is where I'm leaning. And like y'all saw me go to the Beasley conference in Mexico where like I was surrounded by like Black lawyers in that space. But yeah, I just want to say that because it's just so funny. Like I was like so adamant. Like I reflected and realized I want to do tech, but like, Angel, what's tech? Angel from a year ago wouldn't have been able to even tell you, so.
And I was looking for jobs that had a different working environment. I found
that I got
the job in now. It's in DC. It's tech heavy, and there are some media opportunities in it too. Not so much entertainment, but I figured
a little bit.
Hey, 2 out of those 3 isn't bad. It's still considered a big law firm, but very different than what I had before.
Okay, so I'm just gonna stop right there. Very different from what I had before. Whew. Okay, so that's where I want to get into, and I don't have that much time left. All right, I have like 7 minutes left. This is where I want to get into what I've learned over the past year. The job I have now is very different than the job I had before. But one thing that came with that is a different set of issues. Whoever has moved jobs in a pandemic, you probably can relate to this, but it's actually pretty difficult to get to know your coworkers and adapt to a new virtual environment when you haven't met the people and you aren't there in person and you aren't picking up on the little things in the office. This person a year ago was underestimating how big of a hurdle that was gonna be. So although, yes, like I don't deal with that super condescendingness that I was dealing with before, it's nice to reflect on where I was this time last year and think, okay, yeah, actually I'm not dealing with like a lot of the BS that like I was dealing with before. Even just seeing myself in this New York bedroom and like thinking I was there a year ago, like it feels so much longer than that. It feels like I've been in DC forever. A lot of times when you're making a move in life, you are trading one set of issues for another, and it's more so just about like what kind of issues you're willing to put up with, like in your job or you know whatever it is. Like every role I think is gonna have some sort of issue, whether it's you're an entrepreneur and it's hard to figure everything out as you go. So some of the wisdom that's come from this is, one, I'm proud of myself for not only going through what I went through in that video, like the way I handled it, but also coming out of it wiser and more, I guess, in tune with myself and like respecting myself enough to be like, this is an environment where everyone's gaslighting me, and being able to recognize that like when something's toxic, even if no one else is calling it that, and getting the hell out of there. That's something that I've learned and like that I've kept with me now. Just that boost of self-confidence and boldness and wisdom I am grateful for and like proud of myself for. I think at the same time, something that I was naive about a year ago was trading issues. Yes, you're leaving behind one set of issues, but you're gonna pick up another set. And so you kind of have to see what you're willing to deal with. That's something I'm keeping in mind moving forward. Whatever my next steps are, think about the pros that come with it, also think about the issues or like hurdles that may come with it, and then see if it balances out or if the issues that come with it are worth the perks. It's been really nice to be in DC. I'm really happy I made this move. Last weekend I was in New York and I vlogged a little bit of it, but I didn't get enough footage to create a whole video out of it. But one thing that I liked about it was like I was a visitor again. And like as a visitor, it's fun. I can see my friends, but then I get to go back home. I am grateful for just the ability to navigate my career in the way I've been able to. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned and the relationships I built. I made amazing relationships at that job. I still cool with them to this day. When I was in New York, I met up with them. We all got drinks. So there was a lot of good that came out of that. And it wasn't all bad. Like in this video, I focused on the negatives. I'm focusing on why I left, but I had some good mentors at that job. I valued the way they mentored me, and like I think about it as I am getting older and like I should be mentoring people now, I kind of think of those styles that I liked and I want to use it in like the way I try to mentor people. So my mentors at that job are very proactive and that's something I appreciate. So it wasn't all bad. So I want to say that it really wasn't. We had a really strong Black affinity group. There were things that were good about it, just like the bad outweighed the good. So yeah, that's what I've learned in the past year. I hope this video is helpful for y'all. Let me know what other types of videos you want to see. I know that Samantha's still doing her London vlogs. I owe y'all a Tessie Talks and I will give y'all one, I promise. I filmed one a couple weeks ago, so I just need to edit it and upload it. But that's it for me. Okay, I have a call soon, so I gotta go. But like, comment, subscribe to this video, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.